Welcome back to Badgerandblade.com. In our continuing member tutorial series, this video will go over how to send, receive, store, and archive private messages. Now, private messages are sent to various members throughout Badger and Blade once you get to know them, and basically are for messages that you don't necessarily want to put on the open threads. So we'll start in the main forum as usual. Go ahead and click on your settings button. This will take you to your main settings page. Once that comes up, you'll see a box on the left hand side that says My Messages. Now within that box you have 5 different areas that you can click on, one being your inbox, which works very similar, in fact almost exactly like an email inbox. Sent items, if you chose in your profile settings to keep a copy of those sent items, which is always a good idea. Send new message, track messages, and edit folders, which means you can create folders and store those messages. Now please understand that as a regular member, a non-contributing member, you will have a limit of 100 messages. Now the nice thing about badgerandblade.com is it will warn you when you're reaching that limit, and you can go in and either archive or delete those messages. So what we're going to do for today's illustration is I will actually be sending a private message to my actual B&B username, so we'll be clicking back and forth, so it'll take just a little bit of time. So go ahead and go over to the left hand side. Once you see it highlight yellow, hit Sent Items, and this is what I was speaking of. It says Sent Items contain 0 messages. You have 1 message stored, 100 allowed. Now you can empty that folder, and then you can also archive it as well. So let's go ahead and send a new message. Now the beauty of this is you can type in a recipient name, which will always be the username that you want to PM to. You can also blind carbon copy recipients if you're actually going to be sending out a multi-message. So what you do is you just type in their username. Now if you do not know their username completely, if you set it up to where you just type in a couple of letters, it will pull up a list of the different ones, and you can just choose the one. So when you see that highlight in yellow, click on that, put a title, and we'll just put PM test message. And then once again, this looks familiar because it'll be the same format that you have for posting threads, including all your emoticons and everything. So what we'll do is we'll say, hi Skyside, this is just a test message. Scroll down to the bottom and you can add, as I said, you can add any of the items you'd like. Hit Submit Message. And that's all there is to it, to actually sending a message. Now, if you click back on the sent items, it will actually show that I sent a test message to myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to log out of this, and I'm going to log back in as myself. Now when this comes up, I have it set up in my settings to immediately come up to my frequent thread page. However, if you notice, what you'll do is, depending on how you set it up in your settings, to be notified for a private message on the main forum or on your email, you would receive an email saying there is a new private message from so-and-so. Now that private message cannot be read in full on your device. However, you'll see the vast majority of the message there, and then you can also respond to it here on the forum. You cannot respond to it from your device. So once that comes up, hit OK. Now you do have the option of opening up the message in a new window. I do not use that, so I'll hit cancel. I'll go to settings, and there you are. PM test message, hi Skyside, this is just a test message. Now you have 2 options here on how to reply. You can just hit reply to private message, or under the quick reply, as long as you see these quotes, as long as you're below the quote, you can just respond. Now for this purpose, I'm going to just hit reply to private message, and it'll come up in a box. Once again, you need to be below the quotes. Hi, got your message. And then you'll hit submit. Now if for some reason that you time out, or you forget something and have to go to a different screen, you'll see this restored auto-saved content. Now this happens every few seconds, so it may not have your complete message saved, but at least it'll keep what you did have, and you'll be able to type on from there. So what we'll do here is hit submit message. And once again, go to your sent items, and it'll say in reference PM test message. So we'll log out of here, and we will go back into the Badgerand Blade test member section. So now that we've logged back on, you see in the box you have a private message from the sender, which is SkySide, and the title RE test message. Hit cancel, go into your settings page, and there is the message. Click on the message itself and it'll come up. Now what you'll see is you'll see it in quotes. So the first message was, "Hi SkySide, this is just a test message." Then your response, "Hi, I got your message." Now if you want to reply again, just hit reply to private message, and that whole conversation will actually sit there in quotes and keep going and going and going, so you can have a conversation. So now that we've read the message, you have a couple of items. You can delete this message if you want. You can track the message, or you can edit folders. So if we go into edit folders, there's no folders here because we haven't created one. So let's create one that says test messages. Hit save changes. And what you'll see is you'll see a new folder that shows up that says test messages. So go back to your inbox, and you'll see PM test message. And of course you will have a message from when you joined. You will have a welcome to Badgerand Blade from Jim. So what you can do now is you can select the messages. You can either mark them as read, delete, download, or deselect. Now if you want to move it to a folder, just hit move to folder, proceed. And since there was no private messages selected, it'll stop you right there. So what you can do is you can go hit your back key, or your back button rather. And all you need to do is click on any of these boxes. So let's say we want to move these to the test messages. They will light up in yellow. Hit select messages, move to folder, hit proceed, and it'll ask you what folder you want to take it to. You want to put test messages, move items. Now if you go back to your inbox, those messages have been cleared out, but as you notice, you have 3 messages stored for a total of 100. Now I will tell you these will fill up quick, so you want to keep an eye on it. So we'll go back out to the main forum, and that's all there is to it as far as sending, receiving, and archiving private messages. We thank you for watching, and thank you for being a member of BadgerandBlade.com. And please don't forget to comment on these videos both on our YouTube page and right here in the forum. And please stay tuned for more member tutorials.